Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Yoga for Recovery. It's Monday night. It feels like we need a week of recovery. And I hope that you had a good weekend of riding and running. And I know there was a lot going on in Wisconsin this weekend. I did a lot of riding. It was good to get out and experience some sun that we haven't had for a while. So we've got three things on tonight's agenda. We will do a child's pose. We will do some half cow or cow, depending on how the hips are moving. And then we'll do some reclining twists. So we'll do a little bit of hip opening, a little bit of back opening and spine opening, and some twists. So in child's pose, knees come wide and your big toes in the back come together. And then we will sit our butts back towards our heels. That's step one. That can be the most challenging. So start there. Then extend your arms if you can. Otherwise, bring your elbows to the mat. And we'll start with some breathing practice. So we'll inhale into our bellies and then exhale. Now, the goal is to be breathing in and out through your nose. So the nice part about starting in a child's pose is that when you inhale into your belly, you can feel it on your thighs. So the inhale for our practice is to open up your torso a little bit. And the exhale is to drop your collarbones a little bit lower to the mat. We're almost working on flattening our back, and you'll feel that in your glutes, in your high hamstrings. Everything connects there anyways. And they're all kind of similar muscle groups. So we inhale and just work on relaxing, bringing collarbones to the mat on the exhale. If you have a block, you can put your forehead on it. I keep nodding my head thinking, where's the block? Because usually I have one. And if this gets too much, just bring your elbows in, and it's the same process. Inhale and exhale. And you can move your shoulders a little bit side to side, open things up. All right, now let's roll up. So this weekly Yoga for Recovery is kind of a yin yoga practice where we are holding poses for longer and trying to exhale a little bit more deeply into them. So we're going to try this a full cow. We're not even going to bother with a half cow. We're going to try a full cow. So maybe. So the goal here is to have your knees on top of each other. Okay, so I'm going to start with having my left knee on top of my right. I don't think this is going to even be this is not going to be a starter here, but that's okay. I'm just going to get into it. We're going to move. So we can use this as one of those examples for how to relax more deeply into a pose. So the goal is to have one foot by, so my right foot is by my left heel, left glute. My right foot is over on my left foot is on my right glute. Those are the goals, and then my knees are on top of each other. And for some people, and then both butt cheeks are on the mat. For some people, this is really easy. And I can feel it starting to relax. So on the inhale, I'm just going to try to open up my hips a little bit. Maybe lift my knees just to relax. And the exhale is just to come down a little bit and just fall forward. And I'm not pulling, I'm just holding on here. And I'm just relaxing as much as I can on the inhale and on the exhale. So the inhale is simply bringing the air into my belly. And then the exhale is releasing the air and falling forward. So the only focus, try to focus your attention just on your breath and on leaning forward on the exhale. Because eventually you'll start feeling like I'm just getting a little bit of opening here. You'll start feeling a little bit of motion. So now I'm feeling this in the outer part of my right hip. I'm feeling this in my left hip, a little bit in my knees, which is not terribly comfortable, but I'm trying to minimize that. It's mostly a pull on my right hip flexor, one of the hip flexors. And it's just a rock anyways, which is why this is such a hard thing for runners and cyclists, for most of us at least. We'll do a few more breaths and then we're going to switch sides. So you can see that with, and that's the idea of yin yoga, the passive yoga, is that you just hold in this pose. You just keep, and you just hold a pose and let your body kind of get into it. We add in the more, the breath work, the inhale, relax, exhale, deepen, because that is what research shows helps with stretching. So we've added that into our practice. All right, now this is the challenge, is unpretzeling yourself, especially the bottom leg. All right, now comes the fun part. My left hip does not work very well, as well, and so I don't think I'm going to get as much out of this. No, well, we're just going to come over here. Yeah, and you can see, the goal is to have both butt cheeks on the mat. And so as I've stated before in this Yoga for Recovery, is that this is one of simply my least favorite poses, simply because it's just a challenge for me. However, it's really good and gets at the spots that need getting. Yeah. I haven't started with my joke. I can tell, even online here, I can tell when one of you is lying. I can also tell when one of you is standing up. Mm-hmm. I was at a thrift sale and there was a radio, like a boombox, that was for sale, but it was broken. It was only, the volume was all the way up. I couldn't turn that down. And I know, they're terrible. I'm sorry. I'm just working on my second career as a really terrible comedian. Now see, look what's happening here. We're getting a little bit of motion, and we're just going to keep moving this. I'm going to open that knee up a little bit because it's a little bit tight. And I'm just going to keep inhaling, just trying to focus on the breath. Because if you focus on your breathing, your body just starts to relax, and it's kind of crazy when you just let it happen. If you try to force this, your body's not going to like it. So what's going to be good, though, what we'll do next are the reclining twists, which are going to kind of counter what we're doing right now. So this afternoon, I just filmed a whole bunch of 15-minute yoga strength classes, and I'll be putting those up and getting those posted. They're done, they're edited, and they're ready to go. But one of the things that I noticed is that I had a lot of people ask me for short yoga classes. Okay, let's unpeel ourselves, unwind ourselves. come onto our backs. Wow. And so I will be putting those, like I'll put a sampler out, I'll put one out as a sampler, and then it'll be part of the, what's it called, the on-demand library. All right, so let's bring our knees apart and our feet apart on the mat. Hands kind of at a 45-degree angle. And then we're going to drop our knees over to the left, but primarily we're going to drop our right knee towards our left ankle. So right butt cheek comes off the mat, your shoulders stay on. So you're going to feel this in the outside of your hips. Inhale back and exhale, drop your left knee to your right heel. We're just going to a little bit of reverse of what we just did. Inhale up, exhale, right knee to left heel. You can always shift your feet around as well to see if you can get this. So you're getting this in your hip flexor again, but it's a little bit different movement than what we had in the cow. We're doing okay on time. Yes, we are. Good. And just do this at your own pace. Just drop and just relax. We'll do this with one more on this side. And then let's bring your legs up, feet up, and we'll do just a little bit of core work. Not as strength work, but just as relaxation. So bring this over as far over as you can. Look over your left shoulder. So I dropped my knees to the right. My left shoulder has come off the mat. I'm relaxing it, bringing it up a little bit and exhaling, looking over my shoulders. Good. Now I'm going to inhale, bring my knees back up and bring them back over. And look over to the right. We're going to do this again in a second, a little bit differently, just to work the lower back. Inhale your knees back up. Now, bring your feet down. Raise up your right leg. Cross your knee over. So now we're going to be inhaling and dropping our knees over to the right. And now it's not going to quite come down all the way, but the right leg is acting as kind of an anchor on the left. So I'm feeling this all on my left side of my hip. So I'm going to inhale, relax, and then exhale, look over my left shoulder and let my knees drop a little bit more. Again, I'm going to adjust my feet just a little bit so it comes out. My knees come out more at a 90-degree angle. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's do one more. Good. All right. Now, bring your knees back. Uncross them left over right. Now it's going to be the same deal, but cross over and drop your knees over to the left and look to the right. So I'm looking back at you. Inhale up. Exhale, roll down. It feels like my back is just going to go crackety-crack all the way up. There's some definite tightness there. Whole bunch of gravel miles. I rode these trails up in Eau Claire, in Wisconsin. It's the Red Cedar Trail, I believe, from Eau Claire to, it goes out to Menominee, but it also goes to Durand. And it's, part of the trail is paved, but then it starts turning into sort of paved and then sort of gravelly. And it's just an awesome ride. It's beautiful. Definitely could do that a lot. I've ridden that trail out to Durand. I've ridden it out to Mondovi, and it's just amazing trail. All right, bring it up. All right, let's come to our seated position. And it's a little bit easier just to be in it's called easy pose, to be like this. Let's bring our breath into our belly. Bring your arms up overhead. Scoop up the good energy that we've just created. Exhale your hands down to heart center. Namaste. Thanks for joining us. If you have questions about yoga and endurance training and how it all fits together, how we use the strength training and the recovery and the short classes and the medium classes, shoot me an email at Simple Endurance. It's Paul W. at simpleendurancecoaching.com. Come check out the website to learn about the coaching and the yoga and the strength training and how we mix it all together. If you have questions today, put them on the bottom and I will be answering them. Otherwise, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week, or come and join us Tuesday mornings at 6 a.m., Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Try your first class for free. The code is Everyday Yoga. All right, take care. All right, any questions here? Hey, Eric. Eric, I hope you're doing well. Quentin is online. Good. Hello. Jack Nielsen. Brian Holm. Good. Hope you're doing well, Brian. Dennis Christensen. Hope you're doing well. Surviving 2 teenage daughters. I'm barely surviving 1. I don't know how you're doing 2. All right. We'll see y'all later. Take care.